Well, another extraordinary day on the election campaign. Kevin Rudd's re-emergence. There are risks here and rewards for Labor and their former Prime Minister coming out from exile finally on the campaign today. I think that the dangers are that he could continue to overshadow Julia Gillard in the final couple of weeks of this campaign. I think there's a risk that if we see too much of him, that could remind voters of the reasons why they didn't like him in the first place and why we saw Labor plunge in the polls while he was in charge. And there's also the danger that if he's not seen every day to be showing fulsome support for Julia Gillard, this could be seen as disunity and he could be seen as a bit of a destabiliser in a re-elected Labor government. But there are rewards as well. This does take some of the heat, potentially, out of what has been the biggest problem for Labor in this campaign, and that is the shadow of Kevin Rudd and whether he can work with Julia Gillard, whether he's going to undermine her and try to destroy her. By coming out and saying he wants her re-elected, he doesn't want Tony Abbott in office, he's putting his own anger and disappointment to one side. This shows a willingness to be a team player, to be back in the tent, and that is a good thing for Julia Gillard and for Labor. So we'll see how it plays out over the final 2 weeks of the campaign, but probably on balance it's a net positive that he's done what he's done today and ended what was really an untenable situation for Labor where he wasn't saying anything at all. Now, it did overshadow what Tony Abbott would have liked a bit of focus on today, and that is his big health policy. This is an interesting policy. There are a lot of similarities between what the coalition and the government have on the table with hospitals. Both want more local control, both want greater Commonwealth funding responsibility, and both want case mix funding in each hospital to improve performance. There are big differences on GPs. The government wants to roll out more of these GP super clinics. The coalition is backing the private GP practices with more money for them. So there's some difference there. I think Tony Abbott really would like just to neutralise health as an issue. It's traditionally one of Labor's strongest suits. But he now has, I think, a simpler plan on the table. Yes, there are some holes in it, some problems with it, but at least he can spend the next 2 weeks talking about an alternative that's simpler and will deliver more beds in hospitals, which everyone can understand. We're going to be looking at this and the Kevin Rudd re-emergence tonight on The Nation on Sky News at 8:30. We've got a great panel tonight. Nick Minchin, Anthony Albanese, Maurice Yemmer, the former New South Wales Premier, is making a rare appearance, and also Graham Morris, former Chief of Staff to John Howard. So I hope you can join us then 8:30 for The Nation on Sky News.